favorite way to assist one of your teammates?
Uh, Honestly, my favorite assist is when like you see it play developing, and like you trust your guy to make the next pass. So like we call it two away. Um, and it's funny because Dane and I connect on a lot of those where I kind of see him like throw it to Dane, trust that he's gonna make that pass, and he does the same thing to me. So it's yeah, two ways is my favorite one because you get so many different people involved, and when it's just tic tac toe and it looks pretty and it's like that was cool. Like
Is the last time you guys executed that hidden ball play?
I don't know. Me and Dane have had a couple. We never finished on it. I think he said a post or two, but I always love it, and it was funny because like right when you pass, you can kind of tell, does the defense think you have the ball, right? Does the goalie think you have the ball? And like at that moment, it's like, oh, I see them looking at me. Like I gotta really try to, you know, put my acting pants on and pretend like I have this ball. So a little tough. Frazee takes a penalty after, but all in all, it was one of those things where it's a bit of an exclamation point for sure.
What was it like winning this again on your home floor with that crowd and that atmosphere?
Incredible. These are moments that you dream of as a kid, right? You're in the backyard, you're on the floor, just working hard, and whether you're on the floor, you're on the gym, like watching film, it's all the things that you work for is this moment, right? And it can be frightening before the moment, right? But it was one of those things where it feels speechless, because it's so hard to really just like put it into words what it feels like. But I mean, I think if you take a camera and you pan around Banditland, you can get a pretty good idea.
Yeah, how much energy do you get from that crowd being as full and energetic as it was coming off of playing back to back nights?
It's massive, right? Like for us, you wake up this morning, you get in at what 3:34 in the morning. Probably don't get to sleep till 5. 4 hours, maybe 3 hours of sleep. Get up and you try to get your body ready to go again. It's tough, right? And all of a sudden, you step on the floor and you feel that energy, you feel that roar, and it's like you're fresh, and nothing happened last night. You're just ready to go, and it's a major thing for sure.
What does it mean for you to cap off a year with so much individual success and accolades with a team accolade and even more team success? Does it even take it to the next level? How sweet it is?
Man, listen, you start every year looking for a championship, right? That's what you train for. That's what you work for. It's what you study for, and that's where it stems from. Um, you know, Individual accolades are really a nod to the players around you. At times, I didn't feel great this year. A little banged up, and it's funny. There's a time where Toronto early. Kluge is looking at me and he's like, "Yo, what's going on? Like, why aren't you like picking? Why aren't you like going through the middle?" I'm like, he looks at me, he's like, you're banged up. Hey, I forgot, my bad. Like, and he just like selflessly was like, "I got you," right? And it was the same thing for the other 6 guys on the floor. Um, and so the individual accolades are really just a reflection of what my teammates have done, to try to support me, um, which is an incredible thing. And obviously, partnering with Dane has been, a tremendous help for me, not only mentally, but, on the floor. It's so tough when you have, not only, two of us that can play and make so well, but then, you throw the other guys in the mix, and it's insane. Like, we talk about it all the time. Like, any of the other, 6 guys, 5 guys that are in the starting lineup would be probably number ones, on any other team, right? And you have guys that are willing to just put their egos aside and just work for the betterment of the team. Like, that's something so special. obviously, Dane and I get a lot of credit, but at the end of the day, like, those guys are the reasons why, the whole thing works, right? So they're the missing pieces of the puzzle, and, I couldn't be happier to be part of such a great group. And I'm sure you guys can see it, but, like, we're all so close, man. We're all best friends, and we all celebrate each other, and it's a cool thing to be a part of.
Does it feel vindicating for you that you get the accolades with the most assists you've ever gotten in a year?
To be honest with you, man, like, I really didn't feel like I played that great tonight. It wasn't really falling for me that much. Dougie was playing great. He was kind of reading me. I tried to adjust a little bit halfway through. We kind of picked him apart a little bit short side game one, and he was all over it tonight. So it was a frustrating game. So I was a little bit surprised with everything. But no, I mean, I thought, Frazee stepped up, Pooch stepped up, Europe stepped up, the Hilga stepped up, Bucky stepped up, right? Like, that's the difference, right? And to win a championship, it's not one guy, it's not two guys. You need 7 guys on offense and then another 10 on the backside, and it doesn't help when you have the greatest goaltender ever between the pipes. So, yeah, I would say that's a team win for sure.
Josh, going off that, if this was Matt's last game as a Bandit or in his career, how would you try to summarize what he's meant to this organization and his time here?
I hope it's not his last game, personally. That being said, he's done so much for the game of lacrosse. He's a great person, a great father, a great husband, and a great lacrosse player as well. And he's going to go down as the greatest goaltender of all time, in my opinion. I think, the stats speak for itself as well. But, it's really cool to be able to share the locker room with a guy like that that's had so much experience, that's, been so successful for so long in the league. Words can't really describe, what he's done for the game and, what he's done for this team and organization. Without him, we're not in the last 4 finals, right? Like, that was the difference. All of a sudden, we're taking that next leap, right? When he got here is when things changed. And he also helps me out individually as well. Like, me and him talk strategy all the time, and what he thinks the goalie's looking for, and we kind of get together, and it's like, yeah, we're on the same page here, and he helps me out a lot. So I don't want him to leave, but listen, at the end of the day, like, lacrosse is it's a great sport, and it's something that you can wrap your arms around, but eventually everyone's got to let it go. There's bigger things in life and family, and so I know that's incredibly important to him. So I'm not going to hold it over his head if he decides to wrap it up, man. Like, he's had a great career, and he's been a great friend to me, and like I said, he's a great father and husband as well.
Josh, Zach Belter is a Western New York native, and tonight he gets to win a championship for his hometown team.
Yeah.
For you, watching him as a rookie, what did he bring to your team this year?
Listen, if you told me at the beginning of the season that Belter would be in the lineup for the championship, I think I would have probably looked at you like you were crazy. But he's been a great addition, right? He's physical, he's tough, he's strong, hard to play against. It's probably frustrating for a lot of these other guys, and he's one of those guys that's just gritty, wants to win. He's going to do all the right things, and sprinting hard to the bench, right? Little things like that probably don't get noticed, but teammates notice that stuff, and we're happy to have him here for sure.
Gotta ask you about you again real quick. So of your 4 goals in the last 2 days, none of them are on the crease. I mean, that's air Byrne, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, so was it Dougie, the way he was playing you, or was it just the style you were going for that it was outside shots for you?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know how much you guys really look into, like, schematics and whatnot, but the way Albany kind of plays D is like the total opposite of the stereotypical defense, right? Normally teams want to force you down the lane, which teams want to anchor the crease, so that it kind of makes it's tough decisions for that anchor. Do you go to the pop and when the ball gets flipped to that guy, or so a lot of times when teams play that way, it allows me to get underneath allows us to get underneath as a group and really take those dives and whatnot. But like the way Albany plays is they play you so straight up that they force you to the middle. So you're kind of forced to get a lot of on the run shots. They're really well coached, man. They're a hard team to play against. So it was more so the way that they were playing defense. And I think early I was just like, I know that they want to, they're worried about me shooting, so I'm gonna try to wind up as much as I can and try to feed my guys. And even times in the game, I'm like, yo, stop forcing it, man. Like, just trust your teammates. And the boys balled out. So yeah, really had nothing to do with me. It's just the way that they set up and play.
Albany won the 2 regular season games and gave you some tough games a year ago, even when their record wasn't very good. How did you kind of overcome that and solve them a bit in these finals matches?
Yeah. Listen, Albany's a great team, man. They're stingy. They play unorthodox. And kind of getting back to what I was talking about before, like a lot of times like teams will try to match up righties versus lefties, and a lot of times they'll go lefties versus lefties. So it allows them to kind of play with one hand, and as they're forcing to the middle, they try to really dig you, which normally it's cross check slash, and it's a big difference. So they've always been a tough matchup for us, and it was more just trying to really just trusting our guys, because you can fall into the trap of just beating the guy over top and shooting on the run. And normally that's a good shot, right? But Dougie's so good at taking up the majority of the net that like you have to be pinpoint accurate to hit those shots on the run from deep, right? So it was just trusting our guys and really focusing on being patient with the ball and swinging the ball and moving it. As well as, I think, before those 2 games early, I don't think we had Dawson there, which I think Dawson's been, a huge addition, not only on the floor, but just in the locker room. He's a great guy. He really brought a lot of confidence to our defense, and, trusting, to pack it in. And you see him I think he took one to the head like late in the game. And I'm like, I could never do that, right? But he's willing to do whatever it takes, and that stuff's contagious, especially for like our younger guys and whatnot. So, I think it was a bit different of a look than what they were used to seeing. Game 1, I think we kind of walked into a buzzsaw a little bit. We were expecting kind of the older offense, didn't really know much about Simmons, didn't know much about Kurtz, Longboat, all these guys that are a bit younger but are extremely talented. It was a good couple games in the regular season, but playoffs is a different beast.
JT becomes the head coach of this team, and you guys just go to the finals. How big is he for you to continue to develop your game with that sort of a coach, and having been the player he was?
Yeah, he understands the game. He sees the game very well. He's a guy that he likes to give you confidence, but he doesn't want to tell you too much, because doesn't really want to get in your head a little bit. So there's times where I'll just ask him, I'll be like, short foot next time, and he's like, yeah, short foot. I'm like, all right, cool. So like it's cool that he understands the way that I'm thinking and the way that other guys are thinking as well. And he's incredibly smart. He's a great dude as well. And I think especially over the last couple of years, he's really loosened up, and it's been cool. We have a song that he walks into pregame and before his final speech. So it kind of gives the guys a little bit of ease and understanding. Hey, listen, this is just a game at the end of the day, right? Go out and play your hardest, and the chips will fall how they fall.
Thanks, Josh.
Cool. Thanks, guys.